Hello, Marie, and welcome to our International Women's Day celebration with ICVA and Independent Custody Visiting. Could you just give us a short introduction to yourself and what you do?
Okay, thank you for inviting me. My name's Marie Jones. I'm a custody visitor in North Wales. I also do the coordinating for my area of that group, and I've been doing that for about 6 years now. And I had a break after I retired. I used to work with in Bangor University, and then I had a period of retirement where I looked around for something to do, and then I spotted this.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much. Could you please give me an overview of what the role of the independent custody visitor is for people who are watching who may not have heard of it?
Okay, we are independent members of the public. We're appointed by the Police and Crime Commissioner, and we visit police custody units in our area. We work in pairs, and our visits are unannounced. We check on the treatment of detainees and the conditions in which they're held. We ensure that their rights and entitlements are observed.
Okay, perfect. So you go along in pairs, you pop along to the custody suite unannounced to check on those things. How often would you say you do a visit, Marie, roughly?
Our team does a visit every week. I draw up rotas, and two people go each week, so that we cover um, every week of the year, unless of course there's a problem. But that's the
Okay,
aim.
perfect. That's fantastic. There's a real dedication there from the volunteers, which is great. Could you tell me a little bit about why you personally wanted to become an independent custody visitor?
My
Practically.
my working life involves supporting children and adults with dyslexia. And when I retired, I was looking for a volunteering role that would also fit in with my caring commitments. My mother's 102 and she lives with me. In fact, she's 103 next month.
Oh, well,
Um,
happy birthday to Mum
yeah,
for next month. What an
um,
incredible woman.
yeah. I saw this advertised and I thought, well, not only would it help support the police and my local community, but would also allow me to continue ensuring that fair play is for those that need it.
Okay, so that's been a key driver for you throughout your life is kind of that.
Absolutely. It's a completely different role to my working life, but I feel it also has the same principles involved, which is important to me.
It's got the kind of same ethics and ethos to it, isn't it, of people having
Absolutely.
equitable treatment
Yes.
regardless of their circumstances, isn't it? Which is lovely. Okay, fantastic. Thank you. If I, being that we're kind of celebrating and thinking about all things International Women's Day 2021, and your mum at nearly 103, that's a woman to celebrate for sure.
That is, yes, that's a
Um,
good age.
what it is. What do you think bring being a woman brings to the role?
Um, well, I think it's important to have both male and female custody visitors. And when I'm drawing up, as a coordinator, when I'm drawing up a rota, I try to ensure that we always have one of each visiting, because vulnerable detainees, and particularly women, often feel more able to share their concerns and worries with a woman who's not connected in any way to the police. You know, a friendly, concerned visitor will encourage sharing of personal information that's vital to the well-being of detainees. And this might be information that they've not previously shared with custody staff or not felt able to share with custody staff.
Yeah, so you kind of have being a woman might help with that, and women respond sometimes might respond better to women, which is lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there things that you notice when you're in custody, or that you've worked on in your visits, or kind of checked on, that specifically affect women? So are there any issues that specifically affect women in custody, do you think?
Um, yes, they may not have shared that they have some sort of caring responsibilities themselves, and they might not have raised that with the police. They may have mental or health issues that they need help with. They can be particularly distressed and anxious. I found that, you know, with a lot of women that we do see. And we need to check that they have information about any support groups that can help them. They may be worried about privacy, sanitation issues, the available sanitary products, and privacy when using the toilet. And they may also want the chance to see the nurse or have a shower, and they just may feel uncomfortable about sharing these issues with anyone else.
Okay, great. So those are all things that, you know, might affect both genders, but specifically are important for women, or specifically heard of from women detainees.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Could you tell me a little bit about how you get any issues resolved in custody, where you find them? What do you do to resolve those issues?
Well, we work very well with North Wales Police, very closely, and any issues raised are usually resolved efficiently by either the custody staff or a word to the inspector. But we always follow up any issues with the custody staff immediately, and then provide reassurance to the detainees that their needs will be met, attended to as soon as possible. We do check that sanitary products are available and are packaged correctly. And we have checked in the past the pixelation around the toilet area too, because some women are very anxious about using the toilets if they feel they're on camera. So that's.
I can imagine why. And I hear from your scheme manager, this isn't, you know, this isn't something that she's probably said to you, but I hear from your scheme manager that you've made a real impact, you personally, on the menstrual products available to women, and that you're renowned for being
Yeah. I have. I mean, I've pushed it quite a bit, because the dignity of women has got to be, whatever situation they're in, they deserve dignity, and it's important that those products are packaged correctly and available, but not, discreetly so. It is important, that, and that they've always, North Wales Police have always made sure that there is a woman custody officer available to be there for women. But it's also important, I think, that we're there as an extra person that they can talk to if they need to.
Yeah, sometimes the uniform can be a bit of a barrier, and people might feel that they don't want to engage.
Yeah, we're outside the system. We are. We always stress that when we arrive, and I think they understand that then. And sometimes, well, the men that with the male detainees we see as well, they all often feel they can talk to us more, because they know we explain to them. The custody escorting officer explains to them that we are nothing to do with the police. It's quite a really important factor.
Absolutely. And I think the two kind of key things there are that independence and the recognition of the importance of dignity. And they're definitely things that, you know, I mean, as a representative of ICFA, I'm delighted to hear you saying these things too. So there's kind of good themes throughout the work, which is wonderful. So on International Women's Day, then, to celebrate our gender, what would you say to any women who were watching this and thought, well, maybe I might like to become an independent custody visitor?
Right. Well, it's vital that women do take on this volunteering role. I mean, anyone who has an interest in people, and wants to ensure human rights, would find this work very interesting and rewarding. But we do need women to come forward and ensure that the specific needs and rights of women are respected.
So is there anything else that you'd like to add or share about your role as an independent custody visitor, Marie?
Well, it's just that I found the work fascinating. I've learned so much through our local training, through the police, and with with Mania, and the national training provided by the ICVA. Has been extremely interesting. I've been to the national conferences that we've had, and I've been to conferences down in London, and I followed the recent webinar on racial equality, and I just feel privileged to have been involved in this, and I think it's such a worthwhile and important scheme.
Well, and we thank you for your ongoing service to the detainees to make sure that their rights and entitlements are being met. It wouldn't work without the legions of volunteers and people and women just like you who volunteer to go in and check on those vulnerable groups. So thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.